Hello, here's the news at this hour on Tstv. I am Mobola Patekale. Here are some major headlines. World Bank urges Nigeria on reforms to avoid worst recession. Oyo government begins disbursement of 116.5 million bursary to 233 law school students. Biden and Harris named Times Person of the Year, and in the world of sport, Joshua to earn £10 million from PULEV BOUT. And now, the news in details. The World Bank has said Nigeria may experience its worst recession in 20 years. It, however, advised that it was critical to sustain and deepen its reforms to avoid the worsening impact of COVID-19 on the economy. It is said that in its press release on Thursday, titled "Sustaining and Deepening Policy Reforms is Critical to Mitigate the COVID-19 Crisis in Nigeria." The latest World Bank Nigeria Development Update argues that this path could be avoided if progress in the current reforms is sustained and the right mix of policy measures is implemented. It added that the report, rising to the challenge Nigeria's COVID-19 response, took stock on the recent implemented reforms and proposed policies options to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 and foster a resilient, sustainable, and inclusive recovery. The World Bank Country Director of Nigeria, Shubham Kadri, said Nigeria is at a critical historical juncture with a choice to make. The federal government on Thursday said over 100% hike in domestic airfares is inevitable, describing it as one of the consequences of COVID-19 pandemic. It also disclosed that 300 employees of Arik Air who have been recently sacked by the carrier has not been relieved of their jobs based on the intervention of the government. The Director General of Nigeria's Civil Aviation Authority, Musa Nuhu, disclosed this in Abuja at the briefing of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. Also speaking on the issue of ticket fare, he said ticket prices have gone up astronomically over the last week, and it is one of the consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic. The aviation, tourism, and travel industry is one of the most devastated industries. Nuhu stated that because of the shutdown, airlines could not find slots to take their aircraft out, adding that the dollar rate had gone up and operators needed to raise enough money. The Oyo State government has begun the payment of 500,000 naira bursary to each of the 233 indigents of the state in the Nigerian Law School for the 2020-2021 session. A statement by Mr. Taiwo Adisa, the Chief Press Secretary to Governor Makinde, quoted the Commissioner of Education, Science and Technology, Barrister Olasukomi Olaleye, stating that the state government began the payment of the bursary to law school students this week. The statement maintained that the beneficiaries had been receiving the payment directly in their respective bank accounts, having earlier been verified by the state government prior to the ongoing payment of the bursary. The Commissioner, who stated that Governor Makinde's administration is ready to address the issue of bursary awards and scholarship to Oyo State students in tertiary institutions, maintained that the state, through its scholarship board, has earmarked the sum of 834 million naira for the purpose in the 2021 appropriation bill, which is before the Oyo State House of Assembly. Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU Ladoke Akintola University chapters, dissociated itself from a purported resumption calendar released by the institution registrar Kayode Ogunleye, stating that the union members are still on indefinite strike until federal government meets her demands. In a release signed by the LAUTECH ASU chairman, Dr. Abiodun Olaniran, the union stated that the academic staff of this institution is solidly behind and involved in the ongoing nationwide ASU strike and will not betray the struggle to get a better public varsity and welfare system for her members. Dr. Olaniran therefore advised parents not to allow their wards waste scarce resources in coming to school, which is yet to resume as the academic staff are still on strike in compliance with the national struggle of ASU. Olaniran stated that the national leadership of the union will announce the public officially when the strike is suspended, adding that it is not the duty of a political jobber and Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige. The union maintained that due to the strike, no academic activities will hold within the university, including conduct of examinations. Recall a memo was released from the office of the Registrar of LAUTECH Kayode Guleye to all staff and students on resumption of 2019-2020 academic session as the member puts the resumption of 100 level students for December 9, 2020, while Hamilton semester examination is expected to commence for 100 level students on Monday, December 14, 2020 and end on December 23, 2020. Furthermore, the memo stated that rain semester for all students begin on January 4, 2021. The news on Tstv will be back right after this. Welcome back, and now to some foreign stories. United States President-elect Joe Biden and his running mate Kamala Harris have been chosen as Time Magazine's Person of the Year in 2020. The Democratic pair beat three other finalists, frontline healthcare workers and Dr. Anthony Fauci, the racial justice movement, and President Donald Trump, who lost the White House race. Time has been choosing the year's most influential person since 1927. Mr. Biden and Ms. Harris, who was not mentioned on Time's initial shortlist, are yet to publicly comment on the announcement. In 2016, Mr. Trump, then also president-elect, received the same recognition from the magazine. Every year, Time chooses a person, a group, an idea, or an object that, for better or for worse, has had the most impact on the event over the 12 months. In 2019, the publication expanded Person of the Year to include such categories such as Business Person of the Year, Entertainer of the Year, Athletes of the Year, and Guardians of the Year. An international court earlier today sentenced a fugitive Hezbollah member to life imprisonment for the 2005 assassination of former Lebanese Prime Minister Rafik Hariri and 21 other people. Salim Ayash, 57, was found guilty in absentia of murder and terrorism on August 18th by the Netherlands-based Special Tribunal for Lebanon over the suicide bombing that killed the Sunni billionaire politician and injured 226 others. Ayash remains on the run as Hassan Nasrallah, the head of Shiite Hezbollah movement, refused to hand him over alongside three other defendants who were eventually acquitted. Ayash was found guilty of conspiracy to committing a terrorist attack using an explosive device, the international homicide of Hariri and of 21 other people, and attempted homicide of those injured in the attack. Hariri served as Lebanon's prime minister until he resigned in October 2004 and was killed by a suicide bomber in 2005. And finally, to the exciting water sport, Anthony Joshua will reportedly bag a cool £10 million prize pot from his heavyweight world title defense against Kubrat Pulev, despite gate receipt at Wembley's SSE Arena being limited to just 1,000 due to the coronavirus restrictions as part of the new regional tier system. Joshua will still get a handsome payday in what will be his first fight in a year. Pulev, who comes to London as the heavy underdog, will earn just £3 million from the fight, £7 million less than the world champion, according to reports. There are no set purses for the fight, and both men could exceed these figures, with pay-per-view numbers expected to soar because of the lack of spectators allowed at the event. And with that, we've come to the end of the news. Here is a recap of the major headlines. World Bank urges Nigeria on reforms to avoid worst recession. Oyo government begins disbursement of 116.5 million naira bursary to 233 law school students. Biden and Harris named Time Person of the Year, and in the water sport, you heard Joshua to earn £10 million from PULEV BOUT. Please do not forget to always adhere to COVID-19 safety measures. The news was compiled by Hope. GOVT, I am Mobola Badekale. Good day, and thank you for watching.